The other night I allowed myself another drink, turned on my computer, and called up the only Veronica in my address book. I suggested we meet again. I apologized for anything I might have done to make things awkward on the previous occasion. I promised that I didn't want to talk about her mother's will. This was true, too, though it wasn't until I wrote that sentence that I realized I had barely given Adrian or his diary a thought for quite a few days. "Is this about closing the circle?" came her reply. "I don't know," I wrote back, "but it can't do any harm, can it?" She didn't answer that question, but at the time I didn't notice or mind. I don't know why, but part of me thought she'd suggest meeting on the bridge again, either that or somewhere snug and promisingly personal, a forgotten pub, a quiet lunchroom, even the bar at the Charing Cross Hotel. She chose the brasserie on the 3rd floor of John Lewis in Oxford Street. Actually, this had its convenient side. I needed a few meters of cord for restringing a blind, some kettle descaler, and a set of those patches you iron on the inside of trousers when the knee splits. It's hard to find this stuff locally anymore. Where I live, most of those useful little shops have long been turned into cafes or estate agents. On the train up to town, there was a girl sitting opposite me, plugged into earphones, eyes closed, impervious to the world outside, moving her head to music only she could hear. And suddenly, a complete memory came to me, of Veronica dancing. Yes, she didn't dance, that's what I said. But there'd been one evening in my room when she'd got all mischievous and started pulling out my pop records. "Put one on, and let me see you dance," she said. I shook my head. "Takes two to tango." "Okay, you show me, and I'll join in." So I stacked the auto-changer spindle with 45s, moved across to her, did a skeleton-loosening shrug, half-closed my eyes, as if respecting her privacy, and went for it. Basic male display behavior of the period, determinately individualistic while actually dependent on a strict imitation of prevailing norms. The head jerking and the foot prancing, the shoulder twisting and the pelvis jabbing, with the bonus of ecstatically raised arms and occasional grunting noises. After a bit I opened my eyes, expecting her to be still sitting on the floor and laughing at me. But there she was, leaping about in a way that made me suspect she'd been to ballet classes, her hair all over her face, and her calves tense and full of strut. I watched her for a bit, unsure if she was sending me up or genuinely grooving along to the Moody Blues. Actually, I didn't care. I was enjoying myself and feeling a small victory. This went on for a while. Then I moved closer to her, as Ned Miller's From a Jack to a King gave way to Bob Lind singing Elusive Butterfly. But she didn't notice, and twirling bumped into me, nearly losing her balance. I caught her and held her. "You see, it's not that difficult." "Oh, I never thought it was difficult," she replied. "Good, yes, thank you," she said formally, then went and sat down. "You carry on if you want to. I've had enough." Still, she had danced. End of Disc 3. Disc 3. A week or so passed, and Brother Jack's name